I'm going to talk about, I think, 9 or 10 different places where plant remains have been found by archaeologists, and I'm going to try to work toward an interpretation of what this could mean, why we would be looking for these things, with some attention to the last couple thousand years. But I would take you first back 13,000 years to the very first, as far as we know, people in our area. Here's the Hudson Valley here, and at the Delaware Water Gap down here, at a place called Shawnee Minisink, a deposit along the stream there found remains of raspberries and wild spinach seeds, which is similar to what we call quinoa now from South America. It's a different species, but the same idea, hello, of these very nutritious seeds were found at Shawnee Minisink site. So it goes back 13,000 years. People have been able to find remains of food and medicine. And so that just places you down here at the water gap along the Delaware River. Okay, so back to our area. And the reason I chose this theme for the topic Judy invited me was because I have begun to work quite intensively on the plant remains that have been recovered over several decades of my work here through Bard College. And so I'm going to take you to some of those places, mostly in words. I have just these two maps. I kind of challenged myself to see whether, as an archaeologist, I could actually do a presentation without lots of photographs and lots of charts and things like that. But what I want to say is at Bard College, which is in this case here, in this area, right in this area, this is the Tivoli Bay, and just above it is the site that I've been working on quite intensively for the last couple of years. And that's why I have come back to working on plant remains. And that is a site that is going to become a performing arts laboratory. And I found the site in 1999, and 2 years ago I began to excavate it because it had to be destroyed for this new building that was designed by Maya Lin, a world-famous architect. The Stockbridge-Munsee Nation has been working with me to support the work. Might want to move or go down so the folks behind you can see. There's a chair there too, but please. So the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer of the Stockbridge-Munsee, or the Mohican community, has visited a couple times. He did similar work on the Connecticut River. And these are places where only a few centuries ago indigenous people lived, before folks from the Old World arrived. And he found an amazing deposit near Hartford on the Connecticut of maize, corn, and some other plants as well. So he recognized what we were seeing in the digging that we were doing, where we saw what looked like charred fibrous material, and which we think are burned plant remains. We don't know yet what it is. We've just begun to analyze it with a specialist who luckily lives in the area, and my students have been working with him. The tribal herbalist has also been to the site. Misty Cook is her name, and I'm delighted to say that her daughter is now a first-year student at Bard, who has helped her with her presentations on Mohican herbalism. So what we were able to do was to find 7 fire pits that we think are, at least the one we can identify, is about 500 years old. And so we are going through, we're dissolving the earth from these fire pits and then looking for the charred nuts, seeds, and sometimes the tissue of the plant.